Hari Om, a very good morning. Today for a special one-off interview, we have a very special individual who is celebrating a very special occasion. He is the backbone of the Chinmaya Mission, and his colleagues over here at Chinmaya Vidyalayas say that he is an integral unit of support to every work that they do. I'll save you the suspense even though there might be none. It's way too obvious that we have today with us our Chief Sevak, Sri Suresh Mohan Sir. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning. Fine. Thank you.
Sir, it's against age-old beliefs to probably mention someone's age on the day of their birthday, but 75 is a rather special number. How do you feel today?
See, birthday, according to me, is something which everyone has to go through. It is there every year. And the first few years, your parents enjoy that. Then afterwards, your friends enjoy that. And then there is a period where nobody bothers about you. So I think I have come to that stage where people have started, remembering my birthday rather than my remembering those days.
But it's a rather special year, right? 75 is the golden year after all. But
yes.
Do you have anything special planned for the day?
For the birthday or?
Yes, or your family with anything?
We are planning to spend that day. Chinmaya Mission has got a very unique temple and ashram near Trivandrum, which is called the Govindamangalam.
Okay.
So we plan to go there and offer some annadhanam and be with the other group of our friends there, then come back. Great. It's a day of remembrance for the great, gift that anyone can get to live or
amazing. Yes, definitely.
Take a birth as a human being.
Right.
So we just remember that. That's it.
So do you mind going back a few years and probably telling us about how you came to be with the Chinmaya Mission? You're somebody who is a chartered accountant by profession. So how many years has it been with the Chinmaya Mission? How did it all start?
Yes. Honestly, the first time when I saw Puja Gurudev was when I was in the colleges, which is quite, regular for the students those days when Swamiji comes and speaks, especially to listen to his English and the way in which he. After that, there was a long gap. Mm-hmm. Then, when I got married, that is the year 1975, my wife, Jyoti, she is coming from a family which is very well connected with Gurudev. Mm-hmm. And after marriage, we moved to Alapi, a small town. And I was working at that time in Alapi. And there was one yajna by Puja Gurudev in 1976. And being a small place, we were very actively involved in it. From that time onwards, we started developing, or rather I started developing a kind of somebody whom I could emulate. Okay. That is how it started from 7.
You looked up to Swami Chinmaya.
That's it.
And how was it that you came to be the Chief Sevak? How was it that you rose within the organization?
There are two things I could very happily say. My getting into chartered accountancy profession, I call it a accidental chartered accountant.
Okay.
Because I am a physics and science graduate.
Understood. Okay.
Then after that, those days, you don't decide your career, mainly your parents. Mm-hmm. So my father told, why don't you try chartered accountancy? I went there. But somehow or other I could finish the exam pretty fast. Mm-hmm. And I went into the chartered accountancy profession. Now, after coming back to Trivandrum and then getting involved, it was in 1990. Again, Gurudev's one yajna was in Trivandrum. Gurudev's Samadhi was in 93. So this must have been in 90 or 91.
Close to that time.
Close to that. That put the whole clock back into my system, where Gurudev has become a prominent figure in activities. That is how I started getting involved in the activities.
That was an induction to the whole.
Yes, that's it. Right. That's it.
Okay. So, sir, you did mention that your wife was somebody who worked close with the Chinmaya Mission. She is somebody who is working closely with the mission even now. How is that synergy like now that you are somebody, a bit of a leader figure inside the Chinmaya Mission? She is also someone who is proactive with her activities over here. How is the synergy within the family?
She is spiritually oriented. Mm-hmm. Or rather, I don't say that I am not, but her intensity is much, much higher than
yours.
Mine.
Right.
So she is more involved in the spiritual activities, both enriching herself and also trying to get into the people, and like taking Gita classes, then taking Bala Vihar. So she has a very perfectly cut place for her.
Right.
Whereas I am more into my professional practice as a chartered accountant, and then into the administration of the Vidyalayas and other activities of the Chinmaya Mission.
So how is the family like as well? I mean, since both of you are somebody who is at least somewhat spiritually inclined, you have 2 children as well. Are they are they people who are interested in the same realm as well, along with their?
Yes, I can very proudly say that we are a very strong Hindu family.
Right. Okay.
So spirituality
Runs
is something, it runs through the vein.
Right.
You cannot change it.
Okay.
That's it.
So sir, even though I was someone who did education for 14 years in Chinmaya Vidyalaya Kunnumpuram, I've never had the opportunity to be in the presence or see one of these talks from Gurudev as well. My grandfather was a big fan. Much like you, he used to tell me stories about all his yatnas which happened in and around the city of Trivandrum, and that's how he even came to know about Chinmaya Mission. And probably I think that's how I ended up in a Chinmaya Vidyalaya as well. But so for people like me, for a lot of youngsters in Chinmaya Vidyalayas, could you tell us any moment of interaction that you had with Gurudev which probably touched your life? Any such special memories that you have of him?
The close encounters with
Gurudev,
is something which is very, very
talked about.
Yes, but I will tell you that unfortunately I was a person who couldn't get that kind of a closeness with him.
Okay.
So it was always a one-sided kind of appreciation which I enjoyed.
Right.
The only time when I could, or rather when he talked to me personally, was when in Alleppey. But at the time I was quite a young guy, so I didn't understand the entire meaning of that. But some or other there was a spark,
Right.
and that still
Remains.
burns within
Right.
me.
So how many years has it been, sir, with the mission, if you have to count the years?
Since 1995, you can say quite active. I became Chief Sevak sometime in 2008 or so.
Right.
So earlier I was a member of the trust and other activities. So it can say from 95
That's
to
almost 28 years now.
Yes.
28 years exactly. That's also the year in which I was born. So.
Oh, okay.
So I got the count pretty much.
Excellent.
Right.
That is excellent.
Right. So now that you mentioned the Vidyalayas, how has it been, your relationship with the various Vidyalayas, and all the teachers and all the staff that I've talked to have been talking about the various things that you implemented for the growth of our Vidyalayas. Is there any one of those projects that you're proud to mention everywhere, or is there any particular idea of yours that has caught on within the Vidyalayas that you're particularly proud of?
See, it's a teamwork. So I can only put a little seeds of some new ideas, and then it is to be implemented by the people.
Right.
But what excites me, for your information, chartered accountancy is the only profession which still follows the Gurukula system. There is no other educational system in India which is following the Gurukula. That is, you have a principal and you have the students under him.
Right.
There is an agreement between the principal and the students that they will serve for 3 years under him.
Right.
And only on the recommendation of the principal they can write the exam.
Right.
So
Yeah, that's where it differs from law as well. Even the law practitioners do come as a juniors, but they don't have this particular.
but here from the student stage itself. So that kind of a Gurukula system is already within me.
Okay.
And this has been going on for the Institute of Chartered Accountancy for the last 75 years.
Right.
So when I was asked to involve in the educational field, that idea or that field was within me, which I want to continue, that our Chinmaya Vidyalayas, though it is not physically under the Gurukula system of children staying there, but that connect between the teachers and the students is that what I was trying to get.
Okay.
And I think
That has worked out.
that
very well
has
so
worked
far.
out very well. Then of course Puja Gurudev's grace is always there.
So moving on to the next question, sir. While conversing with the teachers, the principals, and let's say Shobha teacher or academic coordinator, they were all in wow of a few of your skills, and they wanted me to ask you in particular about some of these skills and how it came to you. So to start with, since we're already on the page of technology earlier in this conversation, many of them are in wow about how you're still updated with a lot of technology. Shobha teacher was at one point mentioning as to how she would be struggling with PPTs and PowerPoints, and she would just turn the laptop over to you and you would come up with a solution so immediately. How do you stay updated? Is there something that you do intentionally, or is it that something that arises from your scientific quotient?
I mean, it's a very interesting question. This is something which comes automatic.
Right.
See, I have sort of, I cannot resist challenges. So suppose if you come and say that, there is something wrong with the recording, my initial reaction will be to come and see what is that.
What it is.
So that has, that problem solving kind of mind could have been the
It's a
reason.
bit of a scientific temperament as well, though.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
Right. Okay.
I am very passionate about
All these.
science, because science and spirituality are
It's interlinked.
like a brother and sister. You cannot separate them. So probably that is the reason. That's the reason.
Right. I think Shobha teacher might have gotten her answer now. So, sir, is this scientific temperament what was behind you setting up the CSRS, Chinmaya Science Research in schools? What was the idea to give or impart students the same level of scientific temperament that you still hold here?
That is exactly probably the reason that, my temperament into what is happening around us, especially in scientific field, because without science, nothing will move. So if our students are provided with an opportunity to have their own research activities at the school level, there is nothing like that. So probably that is the main reason that could have ignited that passion within me to extend it. And
students.
as you said, I am celebrating 75th. So I think probably like watching the cricket score, it is going to be very limited now. The overs are going to be limited.
Right.
So I thought better now than wait for more. That is how it started.
Okay. Has it always been in your mind, this particular project?
Yes. I think I have been trying bits and pieces in different areas, but now I thought consolidated. If an institutional framework is set up, then it will continue.
Right. It will just carry
It will carry on by itself.
So, sir, one of the things that I have always been involved with, because I've been hearing you speak ever since my school days, and one particular thing that I've noticed is how spontaneously you come up with things that you speak on stage. I still remember going back to 2008 probably when you first came to our school as Chief Sevak, you narrated a story about a camel. I don't know if you still remember it. It was a conversation between a baby camel and a mother camel. It was a very beautiful story. The story in a nutshell was about how the baby camel was asking its mother, why do we have 3 eyelets? Why do we have humps on the back? And the mother explains it's because we have to survive in the desert and everything. And finally it's revealed that these two are living in a zoo. It was, I still remember
that.
I still do. It's been some 20 years at least, I still remember it. But one of the things that I've noticed is whenever you come to our schools, whenever you speak, all of the things that you say is often very spontaneous. I am somebody who is hosting the Chinmaya Quiz Fest.
Yes.
And before me, it was Mr. Ajay Anthony. Even when you come for Chinmaya Quiz Fest, you used to quote something which the quizmaster said in between the sessions, and that used to be the whole point is behind your speech. So the point that I'm trying to make is that you are a very skillful orator. Where does it come from, sir? Has it always been there since your school days?
I think these are something which is in you.
Right.
But you can develop.
Have you always been a passionate orator of sorts?
I was a member of the debate.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, I did my school in Madras Christian College. I
MCC,
schooled
okay.
in Chennai. So we were a small group of people who have the second language Malayalam.
Okay.
And that there was an inhibition for us to speak in English.
Okay. Right.
So our principal, who is a very famous principal called Gurudev Abraham, he wanted us to speak in English. So probably that regimental kind of approach made us develop our
oratory.
Yes, could be. Then I think my advice to the students is you have to read.
Right.
And you have to read anything and everything so that you know what is happening, whether it is science, geography, chemistry, or whatever it is. And that gives you ideas. You can pick up idea even from today's newspaper, something is what is happening. So what I used to do is I gather those information, pass it on to somebody who can develop that.
Right.
So probably that is the reason.
Everything that you've told us while on stage has been things that you've read or you have heard from other places.
That's it.
Right.
That's exactly.
So sir, now that we have mentioned or covered things from your past and the present, I just want to ask you, do you have any plans that you are excited about in implementing Chinmaya's future, especially for the Vidyalayas? Because the teachers were telling me that you were a very, very integral part in converting all our blackboards into smart classrooms. So is there anything more exciting that you have in mind that you want to implement for the Vidyalayas?
See, before going to that, there is always a blessing of Puja Gurudev. And it is sometimes happens like miracles.
Right.
I have two incidents connected with the Vidyalaya.
Okay.
Number one, our Artigal school had a problem with the CBSE. Because according to them, you need 4 acres of land to have a
CBSE
school. CBSE school. We had less than 1 acre. So my predecessor gave an undertaking that we will shift the school to another place. Kekenas. And we bought 4 acres of land in a place called Naruvambur.
Oh, okay.
So he built the school there.
Right.
And he gave an undertaking on a stamp paper that we will shift the school.
Okay.
But as you know, the days got extended. But finally, when I took over as the Chief Sevak, the whole thing came on my head. I got the notice from them that you either shift or we cancel your registration. Now the miracle happens. So I was just worried, how this is going to happen. Actually, literally, praying. Then, one fine morning, I read a lot in the toilet. You may be surprised about it. I have a small shelf which contains a lot of books. And Reader's Digest dating back maybe 10-15 years back, I keep it there.
A lot of geniuses have mentioned that they get their best ideas from the toilet.
Yes, right. So, I just happened to look at that day's Economic Times.
Right.
And I saw a small news. CBSE decides to relax the land area requirements in capital cities.
Oh, okay. Trivandrum happens to be a capital
Trivandrum
city.
happens to be a capital
It's
city.
serendipity, to be honest.
Yes.
Right, okay.
So immediately I wrote to CBSE and they said, forget, you have it.
It's okay, all right, amazing.
The second one happened recently. Chinmaya Vidyalaya or our educational institutions have now from kindergarten to PhD level. That means Chinmaya Vishwavidyapith, the universities. We wanted to apply for engineering courses. So we approached the AICTE, All India Technical Council. They said, you submit your application, we will see. But then we found that we need Kerala government's permission. Impossible to get Kerala government permission for an engineering college in Kerala because they said it is saturated. But we said we are trying to bring in some very new technologies, not only the artificial intelligence and machine learning, but also these kind of technologies connected with the Indian knowledge system. How we can combine this and then open a new vista, that was what we wanted. Nothing was moving. Now comes the miracle of Puja Gurudev. AICT sends us a letter, a query, are you a deemed university? Send us the copy of your UGC approval.
Okay.
We send it. The communication comes, you don't need state approval.
Oh, okay. All right, great.
This is it.
Okay, amazing.
Right. So your question was what?
Plans for the future with respect to the educational institutions.
Here also I'll mention about the blue ocean technology. That is, see, when you see a big ocean and if you want to go fishing, generally you go to a place where there are a lot of activities. That means a big school of fish is there, then the sharks are fighting, you can see blood coming up. Why do you want to go there? The ocean is so big. That is called the blue ocean technology. You go to that vast area which is not
Taken
by others. Instead of fighting competition in that small ring.
Monopoly over a new Italy.
So that is what I am trying to make our Vidyalayas, because it is already known as a school with a difference. That is our baseline.
Right, correct.
So make it more stronger, more resounding that the school is with a difference.
Right.
And it will happen. Technology is only a carrier. See, brick and mortar doesn't make a school.
Correct.
It is the teachers, it is the students, it is the parents.
Everybody who puts in the effort.
Supported by the technology.
Right.
So this is my vision, is that the school should become automatically a school with a difference, and also the number one bespoken school in Trivandrum and Kollam, of course.
I also know that it's your dream to start a college which produces great medical professionals, a medical college. Is there something that you can shed light on?
It is too early to comment, because for a medical college, the first prerequisite is to have a hospital.
Right.
So the hospital works on a commercial term.
Right, correct.
So we are trying to get in touch with our Puja Swamiji, Surubananda Swamiji, because we have a hospital in Bangalore. So we have not decided whether to attach the medical institutions there or start it in Kerala. So it is too early for me.
I really hope it's something which materializes, because
yes,
it will be a great chapter in the Chinmaya history. So for the next segment of questions, we have questions directly from some of the students from Chinmaya Vidyalaya Kunnumpuram. So over to them.
Hariom sir, who do you look up to for inspiration or mentorship? Thank you.
None other than Puja Gurudev.
Even after all these years, even after this?
Yes. He is a book which you can read at any time, at any period.
Timeless advices.
Actually, there is a book called The Timeless Guru about him. Yeah, about Chinmaya Swamiji.
It is about him, not
It's about him. It's called The Timeless Guru. So,
do you often go back to any of his books or any of the moments from his various orations that you probably go for inspiration? Because
I think there is no day passes without at least looking at some of his quotes or even listening to some of the video clippings. So I think there is a constant reminder from Puja Gurudev on your day-to-day activities, especially when it is connected with the Chinmaya organization.
Okay.
Hariom sir, what's the thing that makes you the most proud when you visit the Vidyalaya? Thank you.
It is the students naturally, but that will come only when we start interacting with them.
Right.
So whenever I get a chance, if I talk to the students, definitely I feel so proud of our students. And Vidyalaya is actually the temple of learning. So you get that feeling when you go there, an institution in the name of Puja Gurudev and the students.
Hariom sir, what moment in your career or life has felt the most rewarding or fulfilling to you? Thank you, sir.
Is there one anecdote that you can share where you felt fulfilled with your choice of career, with your life path? Is there any? We can take a moment to think.
Yeah, see, actually, it may be a very personal answer from my side. I don't think there is a moment to anyone, because the whole thing is moving around. If you ask me what was the most unforgettable moment, I will say that the day when I got the final CA result.
But it's a very hard thing to accomplish.
Yes, and especially those days it comes in the newspaper.
Oh, okay.
So you have to wait for 2 days and get the newspaper,
go
go through your numbers. That was the most exciting moment. I think the rest I was only thankful of what is happening.
I think nowadays that thrill is something which does not exist anymore, because you don't find your roll number in a long sheet.
Yes.
Everything is online. You just have to enter your own number. Right?
Correct.
So, sir, for the final question, it's something a bit of a controversial question which the teachers and a lot of the staff of Chinmaya Mission actually wanted me to ask you. So I saved this for the last, because in case you're unhappy with the question, I can just make a run for it. So the question is, do you have a favorite Chinmaya Vidyalaya in one aspect or the other? If based on any one of the factors, do you have a favorite Chinmaya Vidyalaya?
See, when you mentioned about controversy, I don't know who is having the controversy.
Right.
I don't have a controversy.
Do you have a favorite?
No, I don't have a
So if you pick a favorite, it will be a controversy.
That's it. So I don't have a controversy.
Right.
So for me, all the Vidyalayas are same.
Same, right.
See, you have 5 fingers. Do you have a particular
No,
affinity
absolutely
towards one finger? Maybe this is, I'm wearing this maybe because of convenience. So similarly, I may be providing a cap to one school for convenience. But it doesn't mean that
You have a favorite. Right. And this was exactly the answer I expected from you, expected from the leader of such a great institution chain. So thank you so much, sir, for spending this much time with us. I think it's close to 30-40 minutes right now.
Oh.
It's been a very enlightening experience for me as well, and I really would like to take this moment to wish you a very happy birthday on behalf of everybody here at Chinmaya CV Kunnumpuram and everybody who is associated with the Chinmaya Mission. I hope you have, I hope God blesses you with the health and the power to take the mission forward in many ways. Thank you so much, sir.
I should also thank you for the wonderful interview which you had done.
Thank you, sir.
And also for the entire staff, students of Chinmaya Vidyalaya Kunnumpuram to remember me on this occasion. So probably I will say that hope this will not go to a controversy.
Very much. Thank you for the end punch.
Yes, but I still appreciate all the students and I also wish them a very wonderful year to come. And Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Thank you.